inside passage behind Vancouver Island, especially on the northern half, is this kind of fractured landscape of small islands and inlets everywhere, and mountains right up to the edge of the ocean. And those mountains continue down into the troughs as well, so you get really deep areas of water, as well as these sort of pinched areas where you get tidal flows where you can have currents of upwards of 14 knots. The variability in the weather as well, and how there can be extremes in single days where it goes from sunny to the most intense windstorm. It's a humbling landscape. This coastline in particular is very important for juvenile salmon and herring spawn, and a fair amount of these nets are still actively fishing. It's a self-baiting net that never gets cleaned up or taken away. It'll just continue to fish for years and years and years and damage the environment in that way. By recovering a lot of the damaging net debris, we'll be able to encourage things like kelp and eelgrass to grow back, which will create more of a natural ecosystem opposed to one that's skewed to organisms that are hardier than not. There isn't a whole lot of information about where fishing gear is lost, what's lost, how much is where. We're kind of on a blank slate out here, so we have been using an ROV and side-scan sonar to identify areas that could potentially have a significant amount of gear.
We're taking a look to see kind of the best route forward to clean this area up. A rough estimate would be 6 to 8 tons of aquaculture gear, fish farm gear, some commercial fishing equipment, as well as the odd sink and toilet I think we found on the last one. So there's some plastic and there's some netting, and so we'll see what we find.
Coming up here, we're establishing relationships with organizations like the Double Bay Sanctuary. Everywhere we go when we start doing these surveys and cleanup activities, is primarily in these smaller communities, is there's groups that are keen to do this type of work. It's just the expertise or the equipment isn't necessarily there. Again, like, we're dealing with a situation where we're a blank slate, like looking for this stuff, like a needle in a haystack. We have 20,000 kilometers of coastline in BC, over 100,000 in Canada, and no data as to where anything is lost. The only way to survive is to try and work together. From the day that we started to where we are now, in that short period of time, I've seen a lot of interest and a lot of growth within the Global Ghost Gear Initiative, Ocean Legacy locally, doing a lot of recycling. Again, projects like this, the Double Bay Sanctuary, where people are taking their passions and trying to turn it into something that is more than just a thought. It's humbling and makes me very grateful to be a part of that community, to contribute in a way that I saw that I was able to do, and to continually be moving forward with it is great. It's just like I wouldn't change any of this sort of the slog of being wet and cold and struggling and trying to figure it all out. It's always an adventure and it's always worth doing.